Now let's go to our task. Create custom report. Okay, so you come here and then let's give this test one as the name. Normally, each project has a naming convention, right? So for example, for reports, normally they say you use CR, custom report underscore, and then the name of your report. Or some says RPT underscore the name, right? So wherever you are in a project, ask and check what are the naming convention that they are following.
We use like INT that is used for
Correct.
integration. Oh.
Correct. INT is used for integration. For report, it's either CR or RPT, depends on what where your project is following. I normally prefer CR because it's simple custom report,
Okay.
right? And then you say test whatever one, right? So we are doing simple reports. Now there is a checkbox called temporary report. Temporary report is nothing but it's temporary. After 48 hours, it gets deactivated. So that's for that. Optimized for performance, right? So if you are from this database background, you know there is a concept called indexing, right? So if you build index on a SQL table, and if you query that table, it fetches the result faster, right? Similar way, since it's not database stuff here on Workday Cloud, what Workday has done is Workday at the back end, they have done indexing on these objects. Not on objects, but on the data sources. So some data sources are optimized for performance, meaning there is indexing done. So Workday says if you use those data sources, the report will run faster. Okay. So if this is checked, right? Now let's say we saw the data source, right? It's all active and terminated. And one more thing, you don't have to write the complete thing. Workday search works minimum is 3 letters, right? So all act and term, if you search like this, there is nothing, right? It is something else. But now if I uncheck this optimize for performance and then search for that, all act and term, then that will come up. Why? Because
So it
all
is
active and
not
terminated,
enabled.
right? It is not optimized for performance. Okay. So if your data source is not visible here, that means you have to uncheck this. Okay. Now you click on OK, and it will take you in where you now have to add the fields. Okay. So let me add what first name. And now you will say you know the field, so you're typing it. But then you have to do your research. You go to that your business object detail page and see what all fields are available. Okay. Let me put employee ID.
How do we open a
And
new window in Word? It's like a right click or something.
for what?
For new window. See, in PeopleSoft we
Just
can,
right click,
yeah. Okay,
duplicate.
duplicate. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then say you add cost center. Company. So I'm randomly adding fields. And then these are the column heading overrides, meaning once you run the report on the front end, what column name you want to see, right?
Alias.
So, right. If you don't give it, it will by default take the field name, right? So let's not give it and see. Then you have second, which is sorting. If you want to sort it according to a particular field, like I want to sort it by employee ID and by ascending order, it will be like this. Then you have filter. Filter is nothing but putting where condition, right? So I will put a filter and check which one. it is not necessary that you can only use the filter for the fields which you have selected. Like on this report, there are 5 fields, right? But it doesn't restrict me that only I can filter on those 5 fields. I can use any field which is on this data source. So let me say location. Okay, location operator, and you can see here there are different in the selection list. Not in the selection list is empty, is not empty, right? So I can choose location in the selection list and then choose random stuff here that I want. These location employees only, right? So now your report becomes that, okay, give some basic details, name, employee ID, cost center, company for all the employees which are part of a particular location. So if I click on OK, the report is created. Now I can run it. So there, once you create the report, edit it and click on OK, it gives you button here, run and test. If you click on test, it will give you only first 10 rows as it is just for testing. And if you click on run, it will give you the complete result. So here it is giving me 11 records. Okay. And if you click on the name, this is how your report looks. Now, if you want to run it, then these 3 dots in Workday are called related action. So you click on the related action and custom report, run. And it runs it like this. Okay. And if you have to edit it again, like say, for example, now what? Employee ID, right? This column name, you want to change it to ID, just ID. So now what I'll do is custom report, edit. Employee ID, I will give here a column heading, EID. Okay. And let me run it. Now, if you see, the column heading is changed only to EID. Rest all is the same. Okay. And then rest other stuff we will see as part of advanced reporting because that's the same. But this, I want to show this how a simple report looks, right? Simple report is nothing but you give the name, choose the data source, and give the name of the fields, do a sorting if you want, and a simple filter like this. Okay, that's why simple reports are of no use because you can just do a filter and a sort and that's it. Nothing else, right? And here, if you see, you have just one column of field. That's it. Okay, so that's a simple report. Mainly, I haven't seen anyone using it. It is just for your kind of validation. Say via your integration, you are loading some data into Workday and you want to quickly see how many rows have been added and all that. Then you just create a simple report because it is just for your own validation. That's one use case. But there also you can use advanced report. Advanced report is something which is more advanced than this. So that has all the functionalities which a simple report has. So now, say this was a report name, right? Now you are on the home page. But if you want to search, right? Search for your report, you just do rd:/CR_test and it will give you your report. And there is also another option. You directly search for data source task, right? Data sources. It will open up all the data sources that are there in Workday, right? You can go from the business object as well to there. This is another way. So now here, say you have finalized your data source, right? And you can, and in Workday, whenever you see this kind of table and you want to search for a particular thing, just click on the header and it will ask you for putting a filter, right? So I want all active and term. This one, click on filter and it will only give you that row. Now you click on this data source. It will open up, and you see these are the fields which are available on this data source, and these are the reports. So there are some standard reports and there are some custom reports. So say you got that, okay, this is the one which is similar to what my requirement is, right? And I can copy, I should build from this. So what you do is you do this, right click, custom report, copy, and give your own name, CR underscore test 2, and click on OK. Now what it will do is it will automatically copy everything, whatever fields are there, whatever filters are there, and all that stuff. Now you can just modify, delete whatever you don't need, or add something which you need extra, and resolve any error. Column field is invalid for function constraint. That is because you don't have access to some of the fields. So that's the reason. But yeah, did you get the method?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. So that's how it is. Now let me cancel, and then now search for our report RDCR underscore test. Okay, so now you see there are two reports. So if you want to delete the report which you have created, do go to related action, custom report, delete. Okay, and done. So now it'll only one is available. Now again, I'll go custom report, delete. Done. Okay.
Sure.
It will be available on this option as well, right? So we have seen simple report. Now let's go to the advanced. Okay. Same. Now as I've deleted the earlier one, let me give the same name. Again, it has temporary report stuff, which you know. Now it has a separate thing, enable as web service, right? Enable as web service. This is a checkbox. If you select it yes, then this report can be exposed as a web service. And if the report which you are creating, you want to use it in a report or in an integration, then this checkbox has to be checked. So if the intention of your report is to be used in any integration, inbound, outbound, it has to be enabled as web service. Okay. So let's, as of now, we will not do it. We can do it later as well, right? Optimize for performance. Again, I told you it's for the indexing stuff. Let's use that same. Correct. So the simple report had only first three columns, right? Column, sort, and filter. That's it. This one has so many. That's why it is called Mr. Advanced. And the other thing you see here in the table here, in simple report, the first column was field, right? Directly you add fields. But here the first column, you see there is a business object as well. Yeah, this one. And the previous simple report was having only the fields, right? So let me do the same stuff here, just to show you that both advanced report can also do what the other thing was doing. First name, center, and then location, right? And then you have the sort. Sort will behave the same way. Anything. Filter, again, it has this filter condition. Let me use location in the selection list and then choose random one and click on OK. Again, similar kind of buttons. If I click on run, it is giving me the data, right? And don't think it is giving me more data. Why? Because it is advanced report, nothing like that. The filter is the difference. In this one, I think I have more locations compared to the other. That's why. Otherwise, it's just the same, right? If I go to related action, which one you are saying, Vibhas?
I saw test option there.
Test?
Yeah, this one. This one.
Yeah, this one, test, what it will do is, like, if I run it, it gives me 23 rows, right? But if I click on test, it will give me the first 10 rows.
Okay.
That's it. It is just, say, for example, a report gives you 10,000 rows, right? And it takes 30-40 seconds. But you have done a change and you just want to see whether the column is getting data. So you don't have to see all 10,000 rows. So there you can quickly do a test and see, okay, my data is populating.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, now let's see what is the difference. I'll click on edit. Now you see here business object, right? For example, I have this field called company. Now now I'll tell you the advantage of a advanced report. So I have got this. Let me run it, right? So now you see here, we have the employee ID, name, cost center, and the name of the company. Yeah. Now the requirement is that, okay, get the address of the company in the report as well. Okay. So now then what will happen is if you click on next, add a button and then put here address. So here you have company address, right? So you got the company address. But say you want the company ID, right? Each company has an ID as well, right? So if you put the reference ID here, this is the ID. In Workday, every object has a reference ID, right? So this reference ID is of worker, but we want the reference ID of the company in the same report. So what we do is we can change this business object and put here company and then put the reference ID. So now what it will do is it will give the reference ID of the company. And why it was possible here, in this prompt here, you will see all the business object, which are related business object to worker. Okay. Any object which has a link with worker can be used here. Okay. Now if I click on OK, and then you will see the last two columns of reference IDs. I'll click on run. So you see here, this reference ID is nothing but same as the employee ID because it was the reference ID of worker. And this one is the reference ID of the company. Okay, how to see? If I click on this company, it opens this company up. And if you go to the related action, so in Workday, any object, anything which you are seeing in blue, right, which is a link, has a related action. If you click on the related action and you go to integration ID, view IDs, there you see the reference IDs, right? So reference ID can be of different type. Here, this company has organization reference ID, which is this value. It also has a company reference ID, which has this value. Okay. Any questions so far? to search our report, CR_test. Okay, so this was just what we did is a quick overview of this. Another thing, let me show you how a worker profile look. Let me search for a worker. To search any employee, the shortcut is you write worker : and then give the name. So say this is an employee, right? So this is how an employee page looks like. You can see her location, who's her manager, what organization she's part of, what's her business title, employee type, phone, and all those details, right? And then this, if you click here, it has its job related data, career related data, feedback, time off. Now, whatever you are seeing here will depend on your security. If I have my profile with which I'm logged in has the kind of administrator access, then I will be able to view all of his data. But if I don't have that right access, I will not be able to see anything here. Right? So everything here is driven by security. Okay, so you can see personal data, all that, benefits, payroll, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is how a employee profile looks.